Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bethlehem Area School District Stadium. Dan Mowdy with Mike Zambelli ready to bring you tonight's East Penn Conference clash between two undefeated teams in the conference. The Freedom Patriots hosting the Trojans of Parkland. Mike, we take a look at these two teams, both run by two second-year head coaches. Taking a look at Parkland, Rich Snizak comes in. His team's all fired up for this contest, and he looks at this game as a big one in the schedule.
Yeah, in his second year, he's done a great job over there. A lot of the talk around the league is, Parkland could be the team this year to win an East Penn Conference championship. They've never done that. They've never really even challenged for one. So he's done a remarkable job, and he's no stranger to the East Penn Conference. The success he had at Allen speaks for itself, winning a district championship over there.
Absolutely. Snizak, as a matter of fact, before then was a pretty decent baseball coach and has won a championship with every team he's coached so far. Let's take a look at who to look at today for the Parkland Trojans. They have a pretty good, well-balanced offense.
Well, whenever you talk about winning a championship, I mean, you need some depth. And we're going to get a look at number 33, Ira Van Syak, tonight, who actually, got onto the scene last year when Jeremy Stewart was injured. Now, he has rushed for 6 touchdowns already this year, 3 in each of their games. As you mentioned, they're coming in 1-0 in league play. And Van Syak is a complete package. He's a good football player. To the Jeremy Stewart issue, he will wear number 12. Last year, he hurt his one knee, which had to be operated on. This year, it's the other knee. Reports out of the Parkland camp say he may be able to come back and play some this year, but he will need to have that knee operated on. A tough break for a real good football player.
Absolutely. And Parkland comes into this contest with a 1-0 record in the conference, 2-0 overall. Freedom Patriots are led by head coach Bill Ryder, again, second-year coach. He was thrilled with an effort last week to give him his first conference win this season.
It was funny. When I went to talk to Bill Ryder this week, I asked him, I says, was this the biggest win you've had since you've been at Freedom? He said, any win we get is a big one. But that's where that program has been for the last couple of years. But Bill Ryder comes in, as a longtime assistant at Easton High School. He knows what it is to win championships, and he's doing a real good job at Freedom High. Beating Whitehall last night was certainly a great way to start the regular season for them.
And you look at the Freedom Patriots again, well-balanced on offense. 2 threats, the quarterback and, of course, the running back.
Yeah, and the running back is going to be the key. If Freedom's going to be successful tonight, the way they were last week against Whitehall, they're, number 1, going to have to force turnovers the way they did last week. And number 2, Kirk Heron, number 44, is going to have a big night. Last week, he's a two-way performer on a linebacker and a running back. Last week, he scored 3 touchdowns for the Patriots, and he is their go-to guy.
Jeff Haber will be the man with the arm tonight for the Patriots. He's got a couple of favorite targets out there. We'll be keeping track of the aerial attack tonight as well.
Yeah, well, the one thing that Freedom does not want, and it's something that we've become accustomed to seeing on TV too, is a track meet. I don't think that Freedom has the guns to score the 40 points the way we've been seeing. They need a slow-paced game, a grinded-out kind of game where they can control the tempo and the pace.
All right, undefeated Freedom hosting undefeated Parkland in this East Penn Conference brawl. Stay with us. The kickoff is about to begin here on TV2 Sports.
C.J. Wagner, trophies, plaques, and bowling supplies.
Bill, what are you doing here at ABE Car Care Center?
Well, I'm having my brakes and muffler checked out.
I mean, what are you doing all dressed up as if you're going to a funeral or a wedding?
Well, you know how my wife likes music. We're going to a Pennsylvania Dutch opera.
A Pennsylvania Dutch opera? Why, I never heard of one.
Why, sure, Madam Shoefly.
You mean Madam Butterfly?
You mean that's not Pennsylvania Dutch?
No, it's not, you dumb bunny.
That's ABE Car Care Centers.
See all you want to see. Turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more of what you want to see.
shake hands and introduce yourself.
Nobody had done.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Chicago, you're umpire. We're going to call 3 members of the home team. We're going to fight black for your shirt, fight white for your shirt, or we're going to call it okay? There's the center with the heads up, there's the heads and the tails, and the difference in the corner. Okay? Call once in here. Call it. Heads! Call it the heads, it is a tail. Freedom, you want to cross the shoot short. You want to receive. You have to take for yourself the way you like to take. Right? Freedom won the toss. They will elect it to receive. Gentlemen, shake hands and have a great football game. Good luck to you. Welcome back to Bethlehem Area School District Stadium. You're taking a look there at the mentor for the Parkland Trojans, head coach Rich Snizak. And moments ago, you were kind of given a free pass into the circle in the middle of the field for the coin toss held by referee Glenn Rissmiller. Freedom wins the toss, electing to receive to start things off tonight. Rissmiller is joined by Mike Tietzka, John Shigo, Larry Briner, and Mark Berner, all in zebra stripes tonight. Dan Mounty and Mike Zambelli ready to bring you the action here from Bethlehem School District Stadium. And Mike, I think each team certainly will be looking to establish itself early here, and that could go a long way in determining this ball game.
It sure could, Dan. And, you know, both teams are also looking to do some things that they didn't do last year. Parkland went on to win the 4A championship in the Eastern Conference playoffs with a 6-5 overall record. But they never won 3 games in a row. They've won their first 2 here. They're looking to win 3 in a row. For Freedom, they didn't win 2 games last year. They were credited with 2, but they got 1 by forfeit over Council Rock. So they only won 1 on the field. They also already have 1 this year.
Brassinelli puts a ton of air under the ball. And a nice return here. Matt Cassanda returning it upfield to about the 36-yard line. He had to field that one at about his own 2. Phil Frassinelli, the man who kicked the ball, makes the tackle at the other end.
35-yard repunt. Cassanda going to give Freedom excellent field position. He had a touchdown reception last week in their win over Whitehall. And it gets the Patriots out to a good start.
Quarterback for the Freedom Patriots, Jeffrey Haverhill, number 10, under center, and behind him, we're talking about Kurt Herron, number 44, but it looks like a pass on the first play, and it's incomplete, in and out of the hands of Cassanda. So the Pates come out ready to fire. Into the contest for Freedom now, Jason Torres, the split end wearing number 80.
Really a good throw by Haverhill. You can see it was well covered, and he threw it where it had to be thrown. Cassandra, good effort to come down with it.
2nd and 10 now for the Pates, still at their own 36. Haverhill hands to the fullback, and the Trojan defense makes the initial stop. Not much happening on that play. Gain of maybe a couple. Brings up 3rd and about 8.
Nice play by the middle of the Parkland defensive line, in particular number 74, Jason Cudsill, 5'11", 250-pound junior. He's the right tackle. He did an excellent job of stuffing that play.
3rd and 8 from their own 39-yard line. The Patriots go back to work. Rolling out to his left is Haverhill. Looks downfield, and he is sacked.
Haverhill actually had some time to throw the football. Give credit to the Parkland secondary, and this Parkland secondary could be one of the best in the league. You know, they do a real good job in coverage there. You see Haverhill had nowhere to go. The Trojans come up with a sack. One of the players in there, John Search, number 56.
Freedom forced to punt after 3 downs, and the ball is fielded by Doug Joseph. Joseph makes his way just shy of the midfield line. Tackle made there by Adam Legrone.
Well, Joseph, one of those guys who plays in that defensive secondary for Parkland. Quinn Dotson is also back there. 30-yard punt, a 10-yard return, and Parkland with real good field position on the return by Doug Joseph.
And the quarterback for the Parkland Trojans is number 8, Ryan Brown, 6 foot, 145-pound junior. Handoff, first play to start things off for the Trojans as they try to move the ball on the ground.
Joining Brown in the backfield will be Ira Van Sciak. Quinn Dotson is a wideout. Josh Conti will get to start, number 44, in place of the injured Jeremy Stewart.
Van Sciak on the first carry from scrimmage, picks up about 4 yards. Gazzano. Luso in motion that was, and the handoff and a nice run here by Van Sciak. A first down and 20 more. Josh Oskovich on the tackle.
Ira Van Sciak has run for over 100 yards in both games so far this year for Parkland. He has scored 3 touchdowns in each game. Key block on the end. You're not really going to see it by number 21, Doug Joseph. Just seals the outside, and Van Sciak uses his speed to pick up the first down.
The Trojans working from the Freedom 37-yard line. Handoff, Van Sciak bowls his way forward, and he gains about 5 yards there. Richard Kohler making the stop.
Offensive line for the Trojans, Mike Slivka at 1 tackle. Barry Doble will be the left guard, Randy Hayes a right guard, Bob Steckel the center, and George Folsom will be the left tackle.
Van Sciak is a slasher. He had 3 touchdowns last week and 101 yards total against Emmaus. That was a game that Parkland had to come back to. They trailed 6-0. Wound up winning at 44-6. Late pitch out, and the Trojans not picking up much on that play thanks to Sean Collier.
Rich Snizak runs his plays in with the tight ends. They will be either Kevin Petrie or Sean Fluso. Van Sciak, good reaction by the Freedom defense. One of the keys to Freedom's win last week against Whitehall, obviously turnovers. They forced the Zepps to leave it on the turf 6 times and breaking out to a 3-touchdown lead before Whitehall was able to get on the board.
Patriots with an impressive start there, Mike, last week, scoring on the first 3 possessions. To the air they go, the Parkland Trojans, and a connection made there. Doug Joseph. He is put down close to the first down marker by Kirk Harron, a 2-way performer. And we have an injury on the field. It looks like Brian Denick.
Doug Joseph, a 5'8", 160-pound junior. He's a good one, 2-way performer, one of those defensive backs we were talking about. He really broke onto the high school scene in grand fashion last year as a sophomore. In his first varsity start, intercepted a pass and returned it 50 yards for a touchdown. Already has a touchdown reception this year. Injured player for Freedom, number 15, Brian Denick. Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happens to Brian. Just gets kind of twisted around. Looks like that ankle kind of gets hung up in the turf as he tries to make a play and coming up with a tackle. Rich Snizak, second year, 8-5 now at Parkland High School. Coached at Allen from 1990 to 1992, where he went 21-12-2, winning a District 11 championship. And last year, the Trojans were the Eastern Conference 4A champions, beating Abington 24-6. This is their first title over at Parkland since the early 70s, when there was the old Lehigh Northampton County League. There you see. You can see how he kind of just stepped on the side of Joseph's foot, and that's what caused that ankle to turn over.
Denick, a 2-way performer. That's got to hurt in a number of ways. Gain there by Josh Conti, and he picks up a chunk there. About 7 yards on the play.
Bill Ryder, Freedom head coach, 20 years as an assistant at Easton High School. He is now 3-10 overall in his second year and Two of those were victories on the field. The one was the forfeit we talked about earlier.
Ira Van Sciak off the pitch. Could go all the way. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Parkland.
Seventh touchdown of the year for Ira Van Sciak, off to a great start.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Parkland strikes early on its first possession, takes a 7-0 lead with 7:01 to play here in the first quarter.
Well, they do a real good job on the left side. Their bodies in front. One of the guys, number 44, Conti, they get enough of people over there, and Van Sciak, with excellent speed, is able to find that end zone, and you like those guys that know where it is. 7-play drive, 6 on the ground, 1 in the air, 52 yards. Van Sciak from 20 yards out, and Parkland breaks on top. Parkland, depending on what polls you look at, ranked number 2 in the Lehigh Valley area. Morning Call has them number 2. The Eastern Express, I also think, has them ranked number 2 in the region.
Interesting, Mike, that the coaches poll before the season began had Parkland as the number 3 team. And now in the Morning Call poll this week, as you mentioned, they are number 2 for the whole area.
Trojans are a relatively young team, too, Dan. Dress 11 seniors, 21 juniors, and 16 sophomores.
Brazinelli looks to launch another powder keg. This one will go to about the 7-yard line, where it's fielded by Casanda. And look at Casanda go. 2 men to beat. To the 40, the 30, the 20. I don't think they're going to catch him. Touchdown, Patriots.
It will go down as a 92-yarder for Matt Casanda. 3rd touchdown of the year. Here we go, Dan.
Not much rain in the Lehigh Valley, but lightning is being sighted every weekend. Out to attempt the extra point, Fergus Baxter. High snap. Freedom's going to go for 2. Oskovich looks, fires, and it's intercepted. So the extra points attempt will go for naught. Parkland holds on to the 1-point lead, 7-6. 6:48 still remaining in this first period of play.
I was going to get ready to say important offensive series for Freedom, but that front wall does an excellent job of opening the seam. Boy, I don't think anybody got a hand on Casanda. Shows you good speed once he breaks through that little seam in there. And boy, Bill Ryder has to be happy with that. You know, one of the things you look for out of your team is how do you come back from adversity, and Freedom certainly answers the question there. 92-yard kickoff return for Matt Casanda. Extra point not good, so Parkland maintains a 1-point lead.
And there you see the deep backs for Parkland. Number 21 is Doug Joseph. And out there with him, number 30, Matt Thomas.
Casanda is putting some yardage in the books this year. Last week, he caught a touchdown pass from Haverhill, good for 83 yards. So he's
short
some
kick, and look out, here comes Conti, the fullback. Conti crosses the 40-yard line. Parkland will start this series with good field position. Joe Mattis there to make the stop. Mattis also plays nose guard on defense. Two receivers to the left. It'll be a handoff this time to Van Sciak into the secondary. Goes, still knocked down. How about that? And Syock simply parked himself on top of the two tacklers and picked up a few more yards.
Excellent job of keeping balance and keeping the feet moving. Excellent block over on the right side. Conti does a good job of kicking out. They do a good job of sealing inside Van Syock up there, and he never did go down.
Oh, about that run.
That's a good effort.
Adam Legrone holding on just long enough to stop Van Syock. 1st and 10. Pass over the middle is incomplete. The intended receiver there was Doug Joseph.
Ryan Brown, number 8. And if Brown is a familiar name to Parkland people, it should be. His brother Bob Brown was the quarterback a couple of years ago. As you see, that ball was a little bit thrown behind Joseph because of the coverage in front. But Bob Brown was the quarterback here at Parkland, went on to win the Lehigh Valley Scholar Athlete. He is now playing college baseball, so this is his younger brother. Ryan just a junior.
Ryan hands off on the draw to Conti. And the Patriots are all over that one. No gain on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now. Kirk Herron teaming up with Rich Kohler to make the tackle.
Back to that Brown story, if my memory serves me right, I believe his brother was an all-state defensive back also while at Parkland, so very athletic family.
Clint Dodson out to the near side. And the ball comes his way. It'll be incomplete.
There's Jeremy Stewart, very fine football player and is having a tough career at Parkland. Talked about his problems in the open. If you weren't with us, injured his knee last year, had it operated on, missed most of the season, came back this year, and now his other knee needs an operation. He's going to hold off. He might be able to play some more football this year. They're going to try. It's kind of a day-by-day thing.
DeSanda and Torres back, and this is a beautiful punt. And they will mark it at about the 5-yard line. Phil Frassinelli can do it all.
Yeah, the coaches were talking real highly of Phil Frassinelli, a senior. He's the punter, kickoff guy, extra point guy, and really a gifted kicker to be able to do them all. 45-yard punt with no return. And a nice drop and a good leg and a good angle, and all of that is going to lead to Freedom taking over the football just inside their own 11-yard line.
Frassinelli looking at things from the sideline. Freedom again starting from about the 11. Hand off as they try to move it out of trouble, and doing an expert job of that is Kirk Herron. Herron, the two-way performer at fullback and linebacker. He's a 5'6", 185-pound senior. That's got to be like a tank coming at you.
Yeah, the biggest thing you can do when you play against Kirk Herron, too, is, look at him for his size and misjudge how tough a football player this guy is. Every coach I have talked to so far said this guy is a bull. You gave his numbers at only 5'6", but he plays a lot bigger than what those statistics or those measurements will lead you to believe.
Parkland defensive line makes Freedom pay for looks like a mistake at the line. False start on the offense.
Kind of mistakes that, go unnoticed, except if you're, the head coach. You're trying to get the football out of your own side, couple of first downs, improve your field position. You have a good pickup on first down, and it's taken away because of a penalty.
4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Parkland leading Freedom 7-6. 1st and 15 now for the Patriots in black. And the drop back by Haverhill. Lofts it out. And Herron having a tough time of making up the loss on the penalty. Picks up about 3 yards on the reception. Jose Sanchez making the tackle.
Excellent pursuit by Parkland. This is how tough Herron is. Watch, they have a couple guys there, don't get him. But then a trio of Parkland defensive players, one of them in there, number 49, Jason Ravenall.
2nd and 12. Freedom working from its own 20. Haverhill, handoff. right at the line of scrimmage. Barry Doble in on the tackle from the inside linebacker spot.
Sean Fluso also getting a piece of the action, number 85 from his tight end position. Actually, they're the double team in there. Heron with not much running room inside.
Third and 11, 2 receivers out wide to Haverhill's left. He drops straight back, looks downfield, and fires over the middle. And the pass is caught there by David Polari. It won't be enough for a first down, however.
Well, and that's a tough break for Freedom, because that's a good throw by Haverhill. And just because it's down a little bit low and the receiver cannot continue the run, all he needs is another 2 yards. If that throw is out and away and he can just take another couple of steps upfield, that's going to be good for a first down, but Freedom's going to have to give it up.
Chad Coulter just does get this one off, and it has a nice Freedom roll to it. Bates will down it at the Parkland 35-yard line.
And that's a big play by Chad Coulter. That was a horrible snap that almost dribbled 3 times till it got back to him. He was able to field it and then get a good kick, 35 yards with no return. But more importantly, he really prevented disaster there. And Parkland very good in those situations. They blocked 3 punts last week in their win over Emmaus.
The Trojans have far fewer two-way performers than the Patriots do, and we'll see if that has an effect, especially later on in the second half. Ball carrier, Van Syock, and the tackle made by Thomas Schroeder.
One of the things Rich Nizak talked about when he talked about Freedom, they do a real good job of flying to the ball, and that's what he means right there. Schroeder, a real good job of flying to the football, to use Coach Nizak's terminology, and a real good play behind the line of scrimmage.
Gain of 1. 2nd and 9 now for the Pates. Quick pass, let's see what they make of it.
That's a fumble.
Loose ball, look out. Nice job by Doug Joseph. All the way to the 40, cuts inside, and he's down to the 30-yard line. I'm not quite sure it was written up that way, but Doug Joseph makes the most out of it. Vincent Thompson making the tackle.
Yeah, that's definitely a fumble, as that was thrown behind Joseph. That would have been considered a lateral. This will go running yardage. You see Joseph is behind Brown, and Doug Joseph makes a big play. Ball took a nice hop. He scooped it right up, shows you his speed, and almost breaks it for a touchdown. Gets some people to miss, overrun. 50-yard pickup for Joseph.
The handoff goes to Van Syock on 1st and 10 from the Pates 31. Jason Torres prevents him from picking up more than 4 yards on the carry.
33 yards on that play for Joseph. 5th first down for Parkland. Freedom has only 1.
We're in the final minute of play here in the first quarter, and again the score, Parkland 7 and threatening Freedom 6. A pitch out this time to Van Syock. Tries to reach out, knowing he was near the first down marker, and we'll see where they mark it. Tackle made by Kirk Herron, his counterpart, who also runs the ball, playing linebacker this series.
We are joined in the press box by John Spurk, former school board president. Still taking in all the games, huh, Coach? Good to see you. Good to see you. 7-6 Parkland. Bill Bickle saying, is that short or long by that much? Short. No, he says no, they made it by that much. He said, okay. Oh, he's having a bad year this year. I think he's only gotten 1 or 2 right this year.
Well, let's see
if the Syock 9 carries, 63 yards. Parkland has already rushed for over 100.
Handoff goes to Conti. Well, correction, Van Syock, and he rambles down to about the 14-yard line. Tackle made by Joshua Oskovich, and that should do it for the first quarter of play here at Bethlehem Area School District Stadium. After 1 period of play, it's Parkland 7, Freedom 6. Stay with us for the rest of this first half here on TV2 Sports.
When it comes to home heating oil, dependable service at an affordable price is our bottom line. At Lehigh Fuels, we're the savings and service experts. Our current price is just $69.9 per gallon, and we offer a variety of 24-hour service options. At Lehigh Fuels, we don't charge a premium price for automatic delivery, and payment is accepted by cash, check, or credit card. Call Lehigh Fuels today and let us show you a better bottom line for your home heating oil needs this winter.
Let's go get Yakult. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yakult for quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yakult hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yakult. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Yakko's, an Allentown tradition.
All you want to see, turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
There you see Bill Ryder, second-year head coach of the Freedom Patriots. And if he looks concerned, there's a reason. His team did score in that first quarter, but trailed 7-6, with Parkland now threatening to start this second quarter.
First quarter numbers, the Trojans 6 first downs, 109 yards rushing, 1 of 3 passing for 7 yards, total 116. Freedom just 1 first down, 8 yards rushing, 2 of 3 passing for 12 yards. Dan, they only have 20 total yards of offense, but they do have the big kickoff return by Casanda that has them to within 1 point of the lead.
Parkland with the football on the Freedom 14. It'll be 2nd and 3. Split out to the left side is Clint Dodson. Trouble. Ryan Brown has to eat that one. Esteban Figueroa there to wrap him up.
Not quite sure, but definitely a broken play. But it almost looked like Conti was looking to take this one, and Brown didn't want to give it to him. It looked like Brown was looking to maybe play action off of that. Not really sure what the mix-up was, but it does cost Parkland a down.
And about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 4. Handoff, and look out, slicing and dicing is Van Syak. First down for Parkland. Torres making the tackle. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Trojans from the Patriots 7.
Good hard run by Van Syak. Knows he needs to pick up first down yardage. See, when the contact's made, he moves people back a good 2-3 yards, and that gives them the first down.
Handoff. Van Syak. The Trojans continue to try to soften up the middle. Joseph Matus makes the tackle. Gain of about 2 yards on the carry. Puts the ball on the 6. 2nd and goal to go. Doug Joseph wide to the left. Handoff and Syak. And again, the Patriot line holds up. Sean Collier leads the way that time from the outside linebacker spot.
It's going to be a great shot here because there is some real good action taking place down between the tackles. Look at bodies flying, people on the ground. That's a good pileup, guys. Good job by that defensive front for Freedom.
Some major gyrations going on down there.
Yeah, Sheb Shumar in there, Sean Collier, Vince Thompson, the linebacker, Matos we talked about. Dustin Collier is a defensive tackle along with Richard Kohler.
Third and goal from the 5, looking to pass in the end zone. Touchdown, Parkland. The completion made to Sean Fluso, the 6'5", 212-pound junior. And his parents, I'm glad they stopped me on the way up to the press box and told me how to say Fluso properly. Doesn't quite look the way it sounds. Fluso comes up with 6 points, courtesy of Ryan Brown. The extra point attempt is up and good by Phil Frassinelli. The Trojans took over the lead in the first quarter and now lead 14-6 with 9:42 to go here in this second quarter.
Ryan Brown really makes this happen because he has to wait. See, he's looking, he goes, looks off one receiver back to another, and his offensive line gives him time to do all of that good stuff and wait for Fluso to break free and then get into the end zone for the touchdown. First one on the year for that young man. That has to be a great feeling. Junior, 6'5", 212, nice size. You like that out of your tight end. He is actually a defensive starter, and he is one of those guys who Coach Nizek runs plays in with. Fluso and Petrie are those two guys. And Fluso, the beneficiary of the touchdown there. Parkland drive, 10 plays, 9 on the ground, 1 in the air, 65 yards. Brown to Fluso, and the extra point puts Parkland up by 8.
Frassinelli lines it up, kicking slightly into the wind this time as Parkland takes the other side of the field. And this one he'll squib on purpose. It's going to be picked up at about the 21-yard line. And picking up a few yards is Matt Finkbeiner. He's stopped by Kyle Featheroff.
Well, if Freedom has any ideas of going 2-0 this year in the East Penn Conference, right now would be a good time to put together a nice offensive drive and get some points out of it. The game, you know, he hasn't been able to. The one thing Bill Ryder wanted to do was to control the game on offense by running the football, and it's obvious with only 1 first down that they have not done that. They only have 20 yards of offense. They need to generate some offense in this series.
This Parkland defense can be tough. They held Emmaus to only 14 yards passing last week, 93 yards on the ground.
Yeah, well, their secondary ranks right up with the top ones in the East Penn Conference. They are very athletic and very good in that secondary, and over the last couple of seasons have scored some points out of those positions.
1st and 10 from the 29. Herron finds some running room to the 40, and he's sandwiched at the 45.
Well, when you need to make something happen, you go to the guys that you know that you expect to do that, and Kirk Herron is the guy that we highlighted at the top. They do a nice job on the end. Getting a good block was number 69, Vince Thompson, now also playing some offense, a defensive starter, but he gets a key block, allowing Herron to kick it out to the outside. 24-yard pickup, 16-yard pickup on the play for Freedom.
Well, the Parkland line stops that play right at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Bill Ryder for Freedom, as you watch the replay, is assisted by Don Bell, Frank Lane, John Loki, Bob Miloski, Barry Michael, Fred Rice, Steve Tone. Athletic director at Freedom, Dominic Villani, assisted by Brian Callahan. Principal at Freedom High School, Richard J.
Drop back. Haberl goes long. Intended receiver was Jason Torres, the split end.
Jason Ravenhold in coverage, number 49. Excellent technique, nice inside position, read the receiver. This has to be, actually this pass has to be underthrown for it to be complete. See, Ravenhold turns. When the receiver turns, he still is not quite sure where the football is, though. But he's got himself in a position to make a play.
Torres to the right and to the near side. Cassanda, 3rd and 10. The drop back by Haberl. He has time over the middle, soft pass, and there's Herron. Herron has the first down, as he brings the ball down to the Parkland 42.
Well-designed play. Watch the linebacker play here. They're going to read, and you see Herron just releases and comes out of the backfield, and the linebackers pick him up a little late, and an excellent touch, as you mentioned, Dan, on that throw by Hayborough. Real well-designed play and well executed.
Barry,
13 yards on the pass completion. Third first down for Freedom.
Barry Doble on the tackle, and there's a penalty that we won't need a telestrator to reproduce. Offsides against the Patriots.
I asked Bill Ryder before the game, how would you say, and there you get a look at the coach, who is he's a guidance counselor, still works at Easton, so he's had that job for a while. But I asked him how the week of practice was, and he said the week was sporadic. At times it was good, at times it was bad. And that usually leads to, on game night, you know, you're going to have some inconsistencies. Those first down penalties are killers.
1st and 15 for the Patriots. Quick flip. Let's see what they try to do with it. And oh, unfortunate play there for Jason Torres. Lost his footing.
There's a penalty marker down on the play. I think they're going to get a clip downfield, and that is what's going to be the call. Yep. This one close to being, well, that was kind of even, but the turf took it away. And the penalty is going to take everything away. So offsides, now a clip. Freedom was building some momentum, and now they are going to be first and a lot.
I would have to agree with that.
It's going to be close to 30. We'll see with 34, 1st and 34, and all because of penalties, Dan. And this is a series momentum killers. I mean, if they come over this, get over this, I mean, you know, good for them. But it's very rare that you convert from 1st and 34.
They'll go with a draw play to Herron. Not much happening there. In fact, they might have lost a yard on that play.
Yeah, you get put into a situation where it's almost, you know, there is no call for 1st and 34. You just go back to the basics and try and get some chunks of yardage and make something happen.
Some big hits going on down there.
Yeah, in between the tackles, there's some real good football being played by these two teams.
Good line support by the linebackers. Jason Cudzill, one of the defensive tackles, in on that tackle. 2nd and 36. Going long is Hayborough. Incomplete. He was looking for Casanda. Hayborough and Casanda hooked up last week against Whitehall for an 83-yard hookup for a touchdown.
Doug Joseph with excellent coverage. Rich Snizak at Parkland's 2nd year. He's assisted by John Marcanti, Tarek Haddad, Scott Cooperman, Mike Litzenberger, Gene Legath, former head coach at Emmaus, Barry Search, and Ted Steiner, former head coach at Durham.
Casanda to the left. Torres coming this way. And they'll go to Herron. He's got some room down the middle. Look at him go into the secondary. And he loses the ball. Looks like the Patriots may have come up with it. And Parkland has it. Wow. They're still battling over the ball. That was Van Sciak, who did some hand-to-hand combat down low to pull the ball out of that pile.
Well, the other thing Coach Bill Ryder was looking to do, that's a good play. I believe that's number 40 for Whitehall, Clint Dotson, who strips it free. There's a nice little fight going on there.
Van Sciak, the late swipe to give Parkland the ball. 1st and 10. The Trojans working from their own 37, and look out. Kirk Herron getting a little revenge there as he comes in and decks the quarterback.
Kirk Herron is that kind of a young man, that kind of football player. Doesn't like the fact that he fumbled on that last play and how quickly he makes up for it.
Wow.
There's a lot of people that wear football uniforms that hang their heads when they make mistakes. Not number 44. First sack of the night for Freedom.
A loss of 3 yards. 2nd and 13. The pitch out. Here comes Van Sciak. Look out to the 40. The 31 man to beat. He's pulled down from behind at the 15-yard line by Joshua Askavich, and a penalty marker is down back at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, not quite sure what it's all about, but the officials are starting to get together now, and looks like it's going to be a hold against Parkland, and maybe that's why Van Syak had such a nice hole to run through over there on the left side. You never know about those things.
Referee Glenn Rissmiller summons him back.
It's a good job on that left side. Look at the people taking people out, and now bodies locked on everybody, but somewhere in there they did call a hold, and this one will come back. 14-6 Parkland. 5:05 remain first half. Glenn Rissmiller with the call.
Well, it'll bring up second down and 18. Parkland now pinned back at their own 40.
First penalty against Parkland. Freedom has been guilty of 3.
That's Van Syak in motion. The drop back by Brown. And this ball will fall way short, incomplete. Brown under heavy pressure.
Yeah, they're getting some bodies close to him.
And the man walking back ever so slowly, Richard Kohler, responsible for the damage done to Brown here. Boom.
Looked like Brown was even trying to pull that one back in. Kohler, an excellent job of getting a nice push upfield. Kohler, a senior, 6'2", 250, two-way performer.
3rd and 18 from their own 40. Brown airs this one out deep, and it's intercepted, pulled down by Legrone. And Freedom will take over at its own 35-yard line. Brown was looking for Doug Joseph. Legrone was waiting for that one.
Excellent defensive technique. Legrone runs with the receiver, is in perfect position, and you can see Brown just didn't get a lot on that throw, and Legrone just battles. That's like a rebound in basketball against two of the smaller guys on the field here tonight, though. Legrone at 5'7" and Joseph at 5'6", so
Freedom with
a 5'8", excuse me.
Freedom looking for a chance to erase some of this 8-point deficit, if not all of it. Esteban Figueroa on the carry. Figueroa, also a defensive back. He is stopped by Jason Kudzel.
Well, the Patriots had a good drive going on their last possession. Offsides, and then a clipping penalty forced them back to where they just couldn't overcome it, and you know, but they were showing some life on offense. Gained more yards in that series than they did in the entire first quarter.
From the 37, 2nd and 8 for the Pates. 3:35 remaining in the first half. Aaron knocks a few people over the other way as he picks up a few more yards. Barry Doble making the tackle from the linebacker spot.
He's hobbled a little bit. And Syak also in on the stop. Good hard run again by Herron. Nice finish.
And Syak and Harry, what a battle out there all night long. They both play both ways. Two of the finer backs in the Lehigh Valley. Quick play, just getting the ball off was Haverhill. And there wasn't much space to work with for Casanda as he's brought down quickly. It'll bring up 4th and 4. Doug Joseph there to make the stop.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on their corners because they blitz. Clint Dodson comes, but they get a lot of pressure on Haverhill. Doesn't give him time to look at the field, and that knee was almost down there. They didn't make the call. My favorite rule.
Uh-oh. Trouble for the Patriots. It's scramble time. And the Parkland Trojans will take over at their own 24-yard line after bringing down the punter. Chad Coulter making up some of the deficit, but Parkland will have excellent field position.
Freedom avoided disaster, and the other time when they punted, when the snap was too low. Now this one is too high. And Coulter just has nowhere to go with it here. Thinks about throwing it, but that's not going to happen. Parkland will get excellent field position and a 16-yard loss on the play.
Van Sciak and Doble there to finish it off. Here's the pitch out as Van Sciak keeps his feet. He has done some acrobatic running tonight. Vincent Thompson makes the tackle. Second and 7 coming up.
Van Sciak latching onto those blockers. Leading the way was number 75, Randy Hayes.
Van Sciak loses his footing, still gains a few. Third and about a yard and a half.
Not quite sure there, but there was a pretty nice hole. Conti with a nice lead block. Van Sciak that time just didn't seem to be able to get his footing.
Final minute of this first half is underway. 51 seconds showing on the clock. Parkland looking very poised. They go to Van Sciak, keep the ball on the ground. Let's see if we have a timeout call here. And Parkland does indeed call timeout. Kirk Harron making the tackle from the linebacker position. That'll stop the clock with 44 seconds remaining here in the first half. As you take a look at Van Sciak, once again meeting that other guy, Kirk Harron. Let's take a look at what happened last night in the East Penn Conference.
Liberty a winner here by by 25 over Allen. Central Catholic 35-13 over Emmaus. Becca 14-7 over Easton. That was another big East Penn Conference game, and the one that we had on TV2 Sports. Whitehall 41-27. Matt Schultz and Javon Tatum returned for the Zepps, and what an offensive show that was. Well, let's see what that does now to the standings, as the winner here will join Central, Liberty, and Becca off to a 2-0 start. Parkland and Freedom both at 1-1. You see coming into tonight, Whitehall now at 1-1. And Easton, Durham, Allen, and Emmaus continue to look for their first league wins when next week rolls around.
41-27, that contest you saw here on TV2 Sports last night. But don't think that the Huskies got worked by Whitehall. It was 27-all after 3. An excellent performance by both teams last night. You can see a replay of that contest Monday night at 9:30 right here on TV2 Sports.
Well, and it was mistakes, you know, roughing the kicker, you know, the mistakes that Durham made at the end, on the punt where they ran into John Coca, and I'm glad that he was okay, you know, and you know, they just made too many mistakes, and that's what the game boiled down to. But what an offensive show. 1st and 10, firing to the sideline is Brown, and it's complete to Doug Joseph. Trojans very patient here in the final minute of the first half. 40 seconds remaining now. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. Brown, a little sprint roll, and Joseph just runs off the defender and then just bounces back. They just wanted to pick up a couple there. They're liable to try that one again if, you know, if Freedom is going to give them that. Joseph flared out to the wide left. Brown drops back, looks his way. Over the middle, it's caught. Touchdown, Ira Van Sciak. Ryan Brown does an excellent job of selling this play to the left. Van Sciak opening up a nice bit of running room in the middle. There you see Bill Ryder looking for some answers here. 34 seconds away from the break. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Play is so well designed. They have people on the outside to stretch it out. Van Sciak will come from the middle of your screen. Now, he might have been set out. And then just circles to the inside. Brown with time, waits till the very last minute. And Van Sciak, a nice pattern and a heck of a throw by Brown, results into another touchdown for Parkland. 33 is his number. He scores 3 touchdowns a night so far. And tonight he has 2. So he's well on his way to matching half that number again.
Hey, if the glass is empty and you're out of popcorn, don't run to the kitchen just yet. 34 seconds to go here in the first half. And the deep man is Cassanda for Freedom. Already ran one back for 97.
Take nothing away from Freedom. They have played a good football game in this half, but a mistake, it really kills them there. The high snap from center leads to the Parkland score. They do it in 5 plays, cover the 25 yards after the turnover. Brown to Van Syak, extra point, 21-6 Parkland.
From the 22, this is Matt Finkbeiner running it out for the Pates as they look to avoid Cassanda a little bit on the kicks. And the Pates will have 27 seconds to work with. The ball marked down at the Freedom 36. Next week, the Trojans will be hosting Deereth, and then we'll be seeing them back here on TV2 Sports against Liberty. Then it's on to Whitehall. Drop back, Brown, little subtle pass, and the catch is made by Esteban Figueroa. That'll get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Petrie with the tackle.
That's a real nice reaction defensively. And shuffle passes work to great extents for a lot of teams in the area, but Petrie an excellent job of reacting.
Bill Ryder wants timeout, and he gets it done with 9 seconds to go here in the first half. His team trailing 21-6.
Well, Bill Ryder, when he looked at his schedule to start this year, he even came right out and said, we can start this season 0-6 and play good football, and with good reason. They traveled to Council Rock, lost 48-27 already. They beat a very good Whitehall team last week, 25-7. They play Parkland tonight, which we're doing, a very good football team, expected to challenge for league honors. Now listen to the rest of it. At Central Catholic next week, that will be our next Saturday game. Then they have Bethlehem Catholic here, and then they go to Easton. So you look at as tough as it gets in the high school level in the Lehigh Valley, and Bill Ryder told me this week, he said, well, we just have to put the helmets on and fasten the chin strap and go play them.
Drop back. Haberl goes long, and it is intercepted by Doug Joseph.
That's the end of the first half for Parkland 21.
Parkland is campaigning for one play, saying that the buzzer didn't happen until the play was over.
Well, they might get 2. And Freedom is well into the locker room already.
Okay. There's a sea of black entering the stands area where the locker rooms are, and I don't know if they're going to be able to turn them back.
Yeah, they're going to get 2 seconds here. Joseph, very tough to throw against this secondary. This is a good one. Joseph with yet another interception.
Well, one player that's come back to the field is Kirk Harron. He can't get enough of this stuff. But as far as I can tell, nobody has gone to the locker room to bring back the rest of the team. They're going to put 2 seconds back up on the clock.
And here come the Patriots. I'm sure they didn't plan on entering the stadium 3 times tonight. They're going to have to. And you have to watch that you don't have a letdown here. 2 seconds. Certainly Parkland wants to play. They're going to, maybe look to take a shot at something here. And they have had plenty of time to talk about it here also.
And now apparently they're getting some more as the officials are assessing the Patriots a timeout here. Hope you're enjoying tonight's contest on TV2 Sports. If you're watching same night coverage on Saturday night, don't forget we'll be replaying this game Tuesday night at 9:30. And for all the highlights throughout the week, be sure to tune in to TV2 News with sports director Mike Zambelli weeknights at 6:30. Well, last week, Parkland and Emmaus. Parkland beating Emmaus 44-6. And again, the Trojans coming back. They trailed 6-0 in the first quarter. 2 seconds. We'll see what the Trojans have in store here. Drop back. Brown launches this one. Up for grabs, and it'll be picked off by Oskovich.
Wouldn't it be ironic if Freedom scored out of this? Not going to happen. There's a clip.
And we have flags down because of it.
Well, and now we're going to play some more football. The half cannot end on a defensive penalty. Brown just going to air it out. And we've had a couple of interceptions by each team here to close the half. Good job there. Oskovich. Now they're going to have to play more football. The half cannot end on a defensive penalty.
Now we have the other team leaving the field.
Oh, okay. It was a clip against Freedom. Okay, so it's actually an offensive penalty, and that will end a half. Okay, we can go to break.
21-6, the score at the break. And Dale Bortz will be back in a moment to give you the halftime show here as the Trojan band makes its way onto the field. Stay with us on TV2 Sports.
Take one tiny grain of color. Combine it with millions of others, and a beautiful new Armstrong floor begins to emerge. Color by color, layer upon layer. It's the new Solarian inlaid color floor with a handcrafted look of extraordinary depth and richness. See our inlaid color floors at your Armstrong dealer and step on it.
Save now at R&J Carpet Connection, MacArthur Road in Whitehall, next to Silo.
Nostalgia is
doctors who make house calls.
Nostalgia is
your favorite crew on a romantic cruise.
Nostalgia is
cops working hard to serve and protect.
Nostalgia is
lawyers who believe in justice.
Nostalgia is a familiar face.
Nostalgia is a comfortable place.
That's Nostalgia Television.
Nostalgia feels good.
Turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more. More of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bethlehem Area School District Stadium, where the Parkland High School Trojans are up front 21-6 over Freedom Patriots. Tonight, for your viewing pleasure, we present the Parkland High School Band. The 1995 edition of the Parkland High School Trojan Marching Band under the direction of Jason LaRue with Greg King and Donna Temlin. Color guard coordinator Scott Wolfinger, percussion instructor and arranger, and Rick Wyant, music arranger. Color guard captains include Kevin Mickley, Rebecca Heilman, and Melanie Smith. This year's field show is entitled Music for After Dark and includes music from several well-known movies. Tonight's performance will feature a portion of the 1995 show and opens to the theme of the motion picture Batman. The halftime show will conclude with the ballad Farewell from the movie Edward Scissorhands. And now, the Parkland Trojan Band.
Scott. You're on. It's on air.
Concludes Parkland Trojan Band performance tonight. Now entering the field, the Freedom Patriot Marching Band. The band is 177 marching members strong and is under the direction of Ronald Demke. The drum major is Sean Mahan, and the head majorette, Tara Richards. In 1995, the band will be participating in the National Cherry Blossom Parade in Washington, D.C., and at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And now the Patriot Marching Band. Okay. And that concludes our halftime entertainment for tonight. We'll be right back with Mike and Dan for the second half kickoff, where Parkland is leading 21-6 over Freedom after these short messages.
So you want a loan from a big bank, huh? Well, we'll let you know in a few weeks after the loan committee meets up at headquarters. Hey, Sunshine, it looks like you should be doing business with First Star Savings Bank, a bank that is owned and operated by people right here in the Lehigh Valley, a bank that will give you quick decisions, a bank whose deposits are loaned out right here in the Lehigh Valley to your friends and neighbors. First Star Savings Bank, the Yes Bank.
Hi, I'm Rick Wagner. You know, the right fit with your bowling ball makes all the difference. Here at C.J. Wagner Bowling Supplies, you'll find the bowling ball and the personalized service that you won't find anywhere else. We take the time with each customer to make sure it's the right fit on the right ball, and then we'll drill the ball while you wait. We've been servicing the bowling public for over 50 years at 1814 Green Street in Allentown. And we also offer a full variety of trophies, plaques, awards, and engraving.
Turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more. More of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
Van Syak showing you the kind of bullnose player that he is, putting 6 on the board for Parkland. That was their first score in answer to Freedom's first marker. And here at the half, it's 21-6 as we take a look at Parkland head coach Rich Sniznak. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half.
Matt Cassanda then answered that effort that you just looked at. Beautiful wedge up front. They opened up a nice seam in there, and nobody does get a hand on him. Cassanda goes 92 yards. That brought Freedom to within 1. They did miss the extra point and trailed at the game at 7-6. At that point at the half, they trailed 21-6. But then Freedom did not play a bad first half. This is a different Freedom football team. They played a good physical first half. As we get into the numbers, you're going to see that some penalties and some mental mistakes hurt them. Trojans the best in the first downs, yards rushing 131. Now keep in mind that 35 for Freedom, because they actually rushed for 58, but the sack they lost 7 yards on, and the bad snap on the punt was a minus 16 yards, so they had minus 23 yards that they took off of that. The passes attempts relatively eating passing yardage relatively even. Total offense to Parkland 157 to 59. Freedom losing 1 fumble, and they did pay for that. Let's take a look at another highlight here in the first half, and this is going to be the touchdown pass from Brown to Van Syak, who circled out of the backfield, and a good throw. That's what you want. You want your backs matched up against linebackers. Supposedly your backs, or hopefully your backs, will outrun those linebackers, and that was the situation there. Individual numbers first half: Kirk Heron 8 carries, 56 yards. For Parkland, Van Syak 15 carries, 95 yards. Van Syak with a pair of touchdowns. Cassanda has the one that we showed you, and Brown DeFluso accounted for the other Parkland score in the first half.
A lot of different teams from the East Penn Conference here tonight, represented by the coaching staff here to scout out both of these teams. We saw Jim Morgans, the head coach of the Central Catholic Vikings, along with Sam Seneca, and I believe Tom Filipovich was with him as well, and some members of the Deerf coaching squad as well. Here's the kick to start off the second half of play. Baxter gives it the boot, and picking up and running is Joseph. Joseph makes his way out to about the 30-yard line. Vincent Thompson meets him there.
Well, Parkland coming out of the locker room now will have the football. They will be looking for a nice sustained drive, get points on the board, and try and maybe deliver the knockout punch in this one. And Freedom has to come out thinking, hey, we did play a pretty good first half. We have to, eliminate our mistakes, not cut down on them. They have to eliminate them and get the football back to the offense right away. So a big defensive series for the black and gold.
Handoff, Van Syock. And the Pates line does a nice job of holding him to just 3 yards on the carry. Vincent Thompson on the tackle.
Nothing too fancy there. Just throw the lead blocker, Conti, in front. Really a pretty good defensive play, number 69. Vince Thompson from his inside linebacker spot.
2nd and 7 from the 34. The pitch out, Van Syock following some blockers. Boy, did he get upended at the 40. 43 is where he ends up. Kirk Herron with a monster hit. And it'll be a first down for Parkland.
Well, all the movement or moving around that you see prior to the play makes it unbalanced right, and Parkland really has a lot of numbers. It really is a good play from the inside linebacker spot by Herron to make that play and hold down the yardage, although Parkland does get the first down.
With that carry, Van Syock goes over the century mark for this contest, 107 yards and counting, as he picks up some more there. Esteban Figueroa making the tackle.
Pulling and leading the way, number 63, Barry Doble. Then Van Syock slips through one tackle, but then Patriots will get it done by committee. They bury him in a sea of black. Pickup of about 2, give him 3.
2nd and 7. That's Joseph on the move. The pitch out. Van Syock continues to do this workmanlike. And he picks up a few more yards, and Figueroa again there to make the stop. That'll come up about a yard or 2 short of a first down.
Well, and this is what kind of a drive the Trojans would like. They'd love to just take a bunch of time off that clock, and again, they just pull right, and they're just throwing a lot of people at the corners, and Van Syock doing a nice job of staying behind his interference.
And an official timeout is called on the field. It looks like they're sending Adam Legrone back to the sideline for an equipment adjustment. And Legrone may need an adjustment on that helmet. Into the contest for the Patriots comes Kyle Herron. Kyle is a senior, 5'9", 170-pound defensive end. Look out, Van Syock. Oh, loses his footing there and goes down at about the 35 of the Patriots. He may be cramping up, Mike, although he seems to be running back pretty easily now.
Yeah, he lost his footage on one in the first half, but boy, he is really running well. If somebody gets a great block, that's Conti again. Boy, whenever you see a team that can run the football, they always have a fullback that can block. And number 44 is the guy who springs Van Syock free on that play.
And Syock clicked his heels there and went down, and here he actually has Josh Conti on the carry this time to about the 30-yard line. Jason Torres on the tackle.
Conti earned a carry there, and don't worry, coaches know that. Rich Snizak's aware of that. Conti does a great job of running and, or of blocking, and now gets a little help. Watch number 63 for Parkland pushing people down the field. That's a heck of a block. Barry Doble, two-way performer, also the inside linebacker.
Brings up 2nd and 6. And look at this, a little inside-out action as Joseph gets the ball to carry, but we have a penalty marker on the field. Kirk Herron there to make the tackle.
Well, one of the things that Rich Snizak has shown, to the East Penn Conference, he's not afraid to distribute the ball. He'll, he mixes things up. He's a tough guy to to get a read on offensively. You know, the running game's going real good now. We'll throw in a little end around, and you know, that's the times when those kind of plays are successful, although this one's coming back because of a penalty, and it's going to be a hold against Parkland. But you know, he moves the ball around. There's his tight end who he's sending in, who scored a touchdown tonight. He gets the ball to all of the people in those skilled positions. Naturally, a guy like Van Syak is going to get it a few more times than the rest of them.
Doug Joseph wide to the left, but they'll go to money in the bank. That's Van Syak. And he is met by Torres, who's getting his share of tackles tonight from the defensive back position.
Straight ahead blocking. Again, it's Conti kicking out. Good reaction that time by the Freedom defense.
Van Syak able to pick up only 3 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 12.
Well, and this is a key down for Parkland, because if they get maybe 8 or 9, there's a good possibility they'd go for it on 4th down.
And play action. Brown looks deep, fires, he's got a man. It'll be incomplete. Closest Parkland player to the ball was an offensive tackle,
yeah,
and we may have an ineligible player downfield.
Yeah, and that's what Bill Ryder and his coaching staff are pointing out. You know, that guy's got 78 on him. He's 18 yards or 12 yards downfield. And the officials finally agreed with him. But this is a real good job by the Freedom defense. They're trying to sell everything right and then just screen back to the left side. And, boy, they just have no chance in there. You see number 78 down there. That's George Folsom, where he's not supposed to be. And an interesting decision for Freedom. It would make it 4th and 12. You know, if they take the penalty, move it back and give Parkland another 3rd down.
Well, they are going to give Parkland another 3rd down play.
That's exactly what they did.
A little bit of confusion on the part of the Patriot defense here. Players scrambling to get on the field in time for the snap.
Well, and now Freedom not quite sure, as there's some, they've really come unglued over there. I'm not so sure that that's the call that they wanted on the field to give Parkland another 3rd down, but they are giving them another opportunity. And again, Dan, you know, if Parkland comes up with a good play here and picks up, say, 16 yards, they need 17 for a 1st down. But if they can get to within 2 or 3 yards of the 1st down, then they're going to be inside the Freedom 30, and there's a good possibility that Parkland would go for it then in that situation.
Good point. A little bit of gambling perhaps on the part of the Patriots, and we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, the officials are still over there on the Freedom side and talking with some coaches. There was some miscommunication there. I don't think that is the call that Freedom wanted, to accept that penalty and give Parkland another 3rd down. Now they are laughing. Maybe they were telling jokes over there. Colonial League action. A couple of teams moving to 3-0. Palmerton, Catasauqua. Defending champs Catasauqua. Northern Lehigh off to a 3-0 start. Jim Tack in his 4th year doing a great job there, but he doesn't want to say too much because they started off good last year, and he's just going to let them go one at a time. Also undefeated Bangor played today. Do not have a final on that one. All of that in the Colonial League.
3rd and 17 for the Patriot 43. Just the way Bill Ryder planned it. A huge sack there by Kirk Herron. And that sets Parkland back on its heels. A loss of about 10 yards.
Well, now there's no question as to what happens, is taking the penalty does work out in Freedom's favor. Herron has been able to get to Brown a couple of times. Well, that is the 2nd time right there.
11 yards is the actual damage, and Parkland now will be forced to punt. Brazinelli back to boot. Casanda, one of the deep men. And he will get an opportunity here as he fields it at the 23. Parkland doing a nice job of covering the punt. Cassandra gets it up to the 27 before he's stopped by Clint Dodson.
Yeah, those low-line drives, and actually Parkland does a pretty good job of covering that, because they are tough to get downfield on, but Now Freedom with the possession. The one thing is Parkland did use up most of this third quarter. 31-yard punt, 2 yards on the return. 6:20 remaining third quarter.
1st and 10 for the Pates from their own 27. Haverhill handoff. Spinning his way downfield is Figueroa. And a little extra effort there for Figueroa. Equals about 5 yards of real estate. Sean Cluso makes the tackle.
A lot of excitement in a 5-yard run here. Figueroa, some twisting and turning. Nice job of running in traffic. Dances out of 2 tackles, uses that left arm, and just digs out 5 yards. Nice run.
At least 2.5 of those yards were horizontal for Figueroa. Man in motion is Torres. The handoff to Herron. Herron tries to get away. Somersaults his way forward. And he picks up about a yard on the carry.
Somebody saves a first down for Parkland in that pack. Herron is stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but watch as he breaks to the outside. He gets some free going there, and that's a good play on the defensive left side for Parkland.
Third and 4.
Kevin Petrie making that play, number 83.
Haverhill, oh, look at this. After the tip, it's Herron with the catch and a Patriot first down. And Syock on the tackle.
Only the 4th first down for Freedom tonight, although they have moved the ball and stalled out on a couple of drives. They'll take it no matter how you can get it. That good old tip drill.
A 12-yard pass play is what it'll go down in the books for. Handoff, and the ball carries Figueroa. He breaks free. Look at him go. Finally brought down at the 35-yard line by Clint Dodson.
Come on! Don't let this happen! Let's go, defense!
Ryan Brown catching a breather on the sidelines. Freedom first possession here in the second half, getting some things accomplished.
You get the feeling that Figueroa might have asked for the ball there in the locker room at the break.
Well, they just haven't had those sustained drives where they can distribute the ball. They haven't run enough plays to get it to everybody, and you know, now they're getting a little bit of a drive going. You can mix things up a little bit.
Herron pulls his way forward for a pickup of about 5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Well, 21-6 here. Freedom cashes in. We have ourselves a football game. Important series.
One of the fans at the concession stand at the break told me we don't tell the score enough. Hey, that's how we keep our viewers, folks. 21-6, Parkland leading Freedom. Dropping back to passes, Haverhill fires, he has a man. It is caught by Polari, and Polari dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Freedom.
A big, impressive drive for this Patriot team. They are right back in this football game. They'll line up and try for 2. They missed that first extra point, but a 2-point conversion here makes it a 7-point game.
How about that? David Polari, haven't said much about him tonight. He plays defensive end. He's a senior, 6 foot, 185 pounds.
Also had a brother that quarterbacked here a couple of years ago.
So the Pates will again try to get the ball in the end zone here.
First touchdown of the year for Polari. Now an important 2-point conversion.
Three-man backfield. Handoff. No. Play action. Rollout. Haverhill deep to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Polari again.
Good job of covering by number 53, Mark Pottebaum. inside linebacker. Nice read, picking up them people, you know, coming off the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the touchdown. Haberl is going to roll right. That's designed to buy him a little time, and it does exactly that. And you can see what happens as Polari just breaks free. And just gets it into the end zone there. Patriots score with 3:14 remaining third quarter, 6-play drive. 4 in the ground, 2 in the air, 73 yards Haberl to Polari. And 21-12, and Freedom right back into the thick of things. The pressure will again fall on their defense. This is a nice job of covering here.
And a big defensive stand on the 2-point conversion. And that means Freedom must score twice now to at least pull even with the Trojans. The boot by Baxter. It's handled at the 10-yard line by Joseph. And look at Joseph flying downfield. Fires it up all the way to the 37-yard line where he's met by Figueroa. 3:05 remaining in this third quarter. 21-12, the tail of the tape, in favor of the visiting Parkland Trojans.
27-yard return for Doug Joseph, and Parkland will go back to work and move the ball in that opening drive, but they didn't get the points that they were looking for, and now Freedom's in this football game.
Van Syock into the deeps, well, at least into the secondary, to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 8 yards on the carry. Figueroa making the tackle again.
Van Syock was looking for a late hit after this one. I think they miss him though. He gets a little kick on the shoulder. Good non-call.
Van Syock running the ball again. And this will be awfully close to the first down. But it looks like from the mark that he'll come up just a little bit short. He'll bring the chains out nonetheless. Jason Torres making the tackle, the two-way senior at the defensive end position.
Figueroa for Freedom the first half only carried the ball 1 time for 2 yards. In the second half they've given it to him twice, and he's picked up 25 yards. Was very instrumental in Freedom getting points on the board on their last possession.
Well, the Trojans come up that much short, according to referee Glenn Rissmiller. About the length of a football. .142 yards on the night for number 33, Ira Van Syock of Parkland. And on third down, they look for just a little bit, and it looks like they might get enough. Van Syock picks up the first down for the Trojans.
Good job of running the daylight by Van Syock. Gets a good block, nice turn-in block. That was number 40 that time, Clint Dotson. Wide receiver doing a nice job of turning people out of the way.
Van Syock off the handoff, stays on his feet, gets through another Patriot defender who finally brings him down. That was Adam Lagrone. A big first down there for Parkland's Van Syock.
You can imagine what this Parkland backfield would be like, or what it will be like when Stewart gets healthy.
Oh my.
Coach Nizak told me, you know, well, actually what happened last year when Stewart went down was when Van Syock got his opportunity, but this year he was looking to use both these guys in the backfield, and that would have been some kind of awesome 1-2 punch. 18 carries now, 18-yard pickup on that last one. 25 carries, 162 Van Syock's numbers.
Conti, the fullback, picks up about 3 or 4 on the carry as we head into the last minute of this third quarter. Parkland leading Freedom 21-12 here at Bethlehem School District Stadium. The pitch out, Van Syock following the left tackle this time. And he'll pick up about 3 yards.
Van Syock now with 26 carries. We still have a full quarter to go. Coach Snizak is going to run him till he can't go anymore. And, you know, that's always been his style. He'll do that with his tailbacks. He did it when he was at Allen. You know, he'll give them a lot of work, you know, within that framework of spreading the ball around to other people. But he likes to run the ball. You know, you can control tempo that way, and Parkland is doing it now.
Well, if it's up to the ball carrier to say I've had enough, I don't know if Snizak's ever heard that from any of his players. Van Syok coming close. Yes, he does indeed pick up another Parkland first down.
Well, Van Syok, you know, you're sitting up here, you're watching the game on TV, and you're thinking, you know, it's a lot, but he's loving it. I mean, a ball carrier to get it that many times. I mean, he's having a great time.
How was it, big or no?
Stop made by number 25, Adam Legrone.
As time runs out here in the third quarter, Parkland continuing to put the drive in high gear. They lead Freedom 21-12. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes of regulation right after this on TV2 Sports.
Family entertainment never had it so good with the Rose Bowl and TK's Corral. The Rose Bowl features 36 lanes of family entertainment with open bowling, league bowling, and bumper bowling. And at TK's Corral, join the fun of the best music and dancing in the country. Family entertainment never had it so good.
Allentown Rose Bowl, Allentown Rose Bowl, where the better people bowl. Allentown Rose Bowl.
Lads and lassies, don your kilts, put the wee ones in the car, and come to the greatest celebration of Scottish, Welsh, and Irish heritage as the 8th Annual Celtic Classic returns to historic Bethlehem on September 29th through October 1st. Thrill to feats of strength from the Highland athletes, revel to the skirl of the pipes and drums, and dance with glee to more than 30 hours of the best Celtic music. It's all free and brought to you by Northwest Airlines, Coors Brewing Company, and Green Linnet Records. The Celtic Classic, September 29th through October 1st.
See all you want to see. Turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
Welcome back to Bethlehem Area School District Stadium. Dan Mowdy, Mike Zambelli ready to bring you this fourth quarter of action here. The Patriots of Freedom did score in that last frame, but they trail 21-12. Parkland on the move. First and 10 for the Trojans. The pitch out. Van Syok. And Van Syok to the 16-yard line. He's met by Figueroa.
Third quarter numbers, Parkland 4 first downs, 72 yards rushing, and that was their total. They did not get anything in the air. I don't know if they attempted a pass. They didn't. Excuse me. Freedom 3 first downs, 31 yards rushing, 2 for 2 in the air, 32 yards for 63 yards. But most importantly, they put up 6 points in that quarter and have gotten themselves back in the game. But now the pressure on their defense, they're having a hard time controlling this running game.
Number 29 for Van Syok. That's how many times he's carried the ball. And a touchdown for Parkland.
Just a matter of time. It was, I mean, an excellent job. You could clearly see that Parkland wanted to go to the ground game. They ate up most of the clock in the third quarter, and now the running game pays off again. Credit to those linemen up front. Right tackle Mike Slifka, left guard Barry Doble, right guard Randy Hayes, center Bob Steckel, left tackle George Folsom. Those guys are really doing a great job. And, you know, throwing number 44, Josh Conti, with that blocking from the fullback spot. And the running game is in high gear for Parkland, as now they put a little distance between themselves and the Patriots. Watch again the kick-out block that they're going to get. They get a turn in there, and then you see people getting knocked off the football. And Van Sciak, with good vision, finds the hole and finds the end zone in the process. 75, who flashed in that screen with the seal-in block, was Randy Hayes. Well, Van Sciak right on his average for the year, 3 touchdowns a game. That's his 3rd tonight.
Something else.
Off to a great season. 9th touchdown on the year for Van Sciak. 9-play drive, all of them on the ground, 63 yards. Van Sciak from 16 yards out.
Van Sciak needs 9 more yards to reach 200 for the night. Well, the ball sitting up almost perfectly vertical on the tee as you see it.
No, that's probably the squib again. We'll see.
Brasinelli does indeed park it low, and picking up the ball in a hurry is Finkbeiner, number 21. Matt Finkbeiner, a sophomore, 5'6", 150-pounder. He brings the ball up to the 35-yard line.
14 yards on the return, and Freedom will start from their own 35. 11:06 remain. They trail by 16. One possession this half, and they have scored 1 touchdown. Each team, well, Parkland has had 2 possessions, and Freedom the one that they have scored on.
Handoff. Not much happening for Harron as he is swarmed in a sea of silver helmets.
You know, this has really been a well-played football game, Dan. You know, both teams, you know, have done well on offense. I mean, Parkland has the better of it on the scoreboard right now. But Freedom has played a hard-hitting football game. They made some mental mistakes in that first half where they bogged down on some drives. But both teams have moved the ball. They've shown a little consistency on offense.
Shown us a lot of character as well. 10-10 remaining. Freedom going to the air, trying to get things done in a hurry, and there's a nice pass catch. Jason Torres pulling in the Haverhill offering, and it was Ryan Herb on the tackle.
I think it's real important for Freedom at this point. Certainly you want to play to win the football game, but as we talked about, they have a tough schedule ahead of them with Central next week, and then Becca the week after, and then Easton. You know, it's important for them to just do what they're capable of doing here. They moved the ball nice their last drive. Keep doing the same thing. Key 3rd down to keep this drive alive.
Dave Valeri, who has a touchdown reception, flares out wide to the near side, and it looks like we have offsides at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be against the Patriots. Illegal procedure is the call.
The discipline you need to be an offensive lineman on any level is amazing. What happened, the defense jumped first there, and then the offense kind of reacted, and, you know, it's almost a self-defense thing, but you have to stand there and take the shot. You know, the penalty winds up going against Freedom.
Your resume should read, experienced at taking a beating. Dropping back, Haverhill fires it, intercepted. How about those hands from the lineman, Jason Kudzil? The defensive tackle comes up with the INT.
Well, and you can bet there is going to be a celebration. You know, those big guys just don't handle it that often. Oh, that's great. Kudzil has played a real fine game tonight. Defensive right tackle. He'll play some on the offense as an offensive tackle. 5'11", 250 pounds.
Somebody better get that ball back to him. He's going to want to put that in a trophy case. Hand off, Van Sciak hurdling one tackler, and it takes 2 Pates to bring him down after a 6-yard jaunt. Vincent Thompson, one of the guys to bring Van Sciak back down to the ground.
Parkland.
And now the wear and tear might be showing a little bit for Van Syak. He's a little bit hobbled there on the sideline.
Yeah, don't know where Van Syak, where Coach Snizak goes from here, but we're going to find out real quick. Is number 30, a sophomore, Matt Thomas.
That'll probably be all for Van Syak tonight. Matt Thomas does indeed come on in relief. And if he doesn't get back on the field, he'll be proud to know he reached 196 yards tonight on 30 carries. And taking over is Conti. Look at Conti stand people up. He barrels his way down to the 16 or 17-yard line. Parkland on the move once again. Vincent Thompson there to make the stop. And Van Syak comes back out for more.
245 yards rushing now for Parkland. Conti with 16 yards on that carry.
And Syak on the carry on 1st and 10.
No, actually, that was Conti, I believe. Yeah, it was. Give him a little work now. And the young man deserves it, too. Fine job of blocking from that fullback spot this evening.
And Syak heads back to the sideline. 7:25 to go here in this fourth quarter. 28-12 in favor of Parkland. To the 6-yard line goes Joseph. Joshua Oskovich makes the tackle. Kevin Petrie checking in as Parkland alternates its tight ends. First and goal from the 7. Conti. Actually, that was Van Syak that time back in the game. And he brings the ball down to the 3.
Yeah, Coach Snizak threw you a curve, mixing in Conti there a couple of times.
Just when you think Van Syak's had enough, he keeps coming back for more.
It's a good defensive effort by Freedom, and this defensive line has got to be getting a little tired right now. They've had to be doing a lot of running and a lot of chasing.
And with that carry, Van Syak has indeed reached the 200 mark. 200 yards and the touchdown by Josh Conti. So Conti is on the board tonight. 6:11 to play in the fourth, and Parkland now leads Freedom 34-12.
Conti's second touchdown this year, first of the night. And Bill Ryder is seeing one get away.
The extra point is good, and the tail now 35-12 in favor of the Trojans.
Trap inside. Trap by number 63, Barry Goebel, and that's what springs it free. Conti, a nice job of setting up his block. Parkland now in control at 35-12. 6-play drive, all of them on the ground from 38 yards out. Conti's touchdown run will go down as a 3-yarder. And there you see our story. Parkland now has rushed the ball 44 times, or no, Conti 7 carries, 35 yards. And Syak 31, right on 200 yards. Final score of this one is not going to indicate what a hard-fought game this was. You know, that first half where Freedom kind of self-destructed, looked like they were moving the ball. They jumped off sides, then had a clipping penalty. Points in that drive could have made this a very interesting game, which, you know, up until right now, really was a good football game and a tight football game.
Very much so, Mike. In fact, Freedom held Parkland scoreless in that third quarter while scoring a touchdown of its own. So Bill Ryder making some good adjustments at the break I just think with so many players going both ways on this squad that maybe fatigue has something to do with it this late in the ball game. Jason Torres receiving the kick, and he brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Well, the third quarter went the way Bill Ryder would have liked the quarter to go. You know, Parkland opened up with a long drive, but his defense hung in, and then they took over and they controlled the ball and moved it down. There were only 3 possessions in that quarter, with Parkland's second one carrying over into the fourth quarter, and that's what he wanted. A controlled game where his offense was on the field a lot, and the third quarter was really the only time where the Patriots accomplished that.
Wow, there goes Esteban Figueroa from one 40-yard line to the other. Ryan Herb makes the tackle, doing a nice job of backtracking from his outside linebacker spot.
Figueroa, a quick hitter, and explodes into that hole and finds a nice little seam in there and quickly into the Parkland secondary.
1st and 10 from the 39 of Parkland. The Pates looking to at least get some more points on the board. Averill, the drop back and the fire to the sideline. He goes on the far side with Jason Torres, the recipient. And Torres works his way to a first down as the clock continues to run. Barry Doble on the tackle.
Junior quarterback Haberl, this little square out. Nice job of tacking on some yardage after the catch. Jason Torres, 8th first down for the Patriots.
Oh, look at Herron. He's not to be stopped. All the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Freedom.
It's the thing that's a little different about this Freedom program this year, Dan. They're looking to go down to defeat here with 4:51 to play. But there's no quit in this team this year. That's an impressive drive. Says something about their character. And, you know, with the schedule that we talked about that they have, it's important for them to keep thinking positive and keep moving. That's a good drive and a nice job of getting more points on the board.
And the Pates will go for 2. They tried this once before, passed to the end zone and did not get it. Here they go again, lofting this one, a timing play, incomplete. So the score will stand at 35-18 in favor of the Parkland Trojans.
Bill Ryder has to like the way his team moved down the field.
He did it in lightning strike fashion. As we mentioned, the Pates going with a number of two-way performers. Looks like 8 in all. And remember, they early in the game lost Brian Denick to an ankle injury, the offensive guard and linebacker. Still managing to hang in there and put some points on the board against a pretty stellar Parkland defense today.
Freedom drive, 3 plays, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air. 60 yards. Herron from 25 yards out. 35-18. Parkland still in control, though. Herron's first touchdown tonight, his 4th on the year.
Looking at some big numbers on this scoreboard. Parkland with 35 points. Seems like we've had big numbers every time out this season.
That has been the talk of the league, the number of points that teams are scoring.
Onside kick by the Pates, and the Pates think they might have it. The coaching staff certainly putting in a good deal of campaigning here, but Parkland will get the nod and take over inside Freedom territory at about the 48.
They had a great opportunity to come up with it because it rattles around, goes the necessary 10 yards, and then it is loose as it is misplays there. That's a good job. He actually caught it with his feet and then raked it back up to his hands.
Not an easy thing to do.
I'll say. Not with guys running at you trying to get it, that's for sure. That's a good play.
Handoff by Chad Gray, the new quarterback in for the Parkland Trojans. And a big game there on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, it appears that we are now going to see some second-teamers. Running is Conti. He's certainly no second-teamer, but Chad Gray is a sophomore quarterback, 5'9", 147. And he will now run things. You know, we didn't mention it through the game. Ryan Brown and Coach Snizak was a little concerned about him today. He was at the Duroff-Whitehall game and was in a car accident on the way back. And
wow.
Fortunately, no one was hurt. He was a little bit shaken up, and I know Coach Snizak is real happy that Brown is, was emotionally as well as physically able to play tonight's game. And he has now called it a night, and Ryan Brown really had a great night. Tough snap to handle there, but Chad Gray gets it done and picks up some positive yardage.
Conti on the carry, Torres on the stop, and we'll see who got the better of it as they bring out the chains.
Trojans will host Duroff next week and then come back here and play Liberty, then host Whitehall, then go to J. Bernie Crum Stadium on 2 weekends. First on October 13th, they will meet Allen, and then on October 20th, they will meet Central Catholic, and that one could be a very important football game, to say the least. And then after that, they will go to, they will host Becca, so an important stretch coming up then. 3-game stretch will have them with Central Catholic, Becca, and Easton.
Josh Conti on third and about 3 inches. And again, it is close enough to remeasure. The unknown caller says that it is a first down. If he's right, we'll tell you what his name is.
Bino was wrong on the last one. I'll let you know who it is. I give him credit when he gets it right. And he says first down all the way, and he's got it. All right. All right. Rich Snizak, head coach of Parkland, now wearing 2 hats for the Trojans, as he was recently named athletic director at the school. Principal Carl Tershak, superintendent Dr. Gary McCartney.
Well, if they wanted a guy who loves athletics, I think they've got the right man in the AD's office. Ball carrier that time was Matt Thomas, and he is stopped by Vincent Thompson.
Good blocking again up in front. Good pursuit. Number 69, Vince Thompson.
Second and 7 from the Freedom 35-yard line. Chad Gray hands off to the big fullback, Josh Conti. And again, it's Thompson on the stop.
Good strong run by Conti. Nice finish. They're just looking to work time off the clock. Take as much time in between plays.
Number 30 for Parkland is Matt Thomas, checking in as the running back, 5'6", 155 pounds. He's a sophomore. Pitch out, and it's handled by Thomas. Thomas picks up about 5 yards on the carry for a first down. Matt Finkbeiner on the tackle.
Parkland hosting Duroff next week. As you watch the replay, is an awful interesting matchup. Snizak, a former Duroff star in the late 70s, where they won an East Penn Conference championship while he was a quarterback there. But he then came back as a baseball coach and also coached with Mike Marks at Duroff High School before moving on to Allen. So
he won a district title while he was there. I think it was only 2 years, and he came away with that title.
Right. Duroff Parkland, a very interesting matchup next week. And you know, the Huskies looking for their first win of the year in the league. They're 1-2 overall, so they're going to be a little hungry, and they certainly have some talent in the horses to beat anybody on any given night.
Conti meets Cassandra deep in the secondary as Conti wants another marker.
Nice job by Conti of hanging on to the football so no one can strip it free till he breaks into the secondary, and then he opens up.
First and goal from the 8. We may have had some motion on the offensive line. And it'll be a legal procedure against the Trojans. .24 seconds remaining in the game. Handoff this time to 43, Steve Ott. And Ott is stopped inside the 5-yard line. And that should do it.
And Matt Cassandra with a nice hustling play. I'll tell you, Bill Ryder has to find a lot of positives. I know, you know, a loss is a loss. But this is a nice hustling play by Cassandra. This game is decided, it's over, and there's a young man playing till the final bell. Good play, Cassandra.
Well, if you love touchdowns, I'm sure you enjoyed the contest. The final score, Parkland 35, Freedom 18. Mike and I will be back to wrap it up with some stats from Bill Bickle right after this on TV2 Sports.
So, what do you think?
You look tough to me. I'm impressed. I want those qualities on our team. Think we can get them?
Let's go ask.
Hey, that's Ellie's head scout.
Could you come over here a second, son?
Yeah, you. Going to the show, baby. Could you turn around? You know if these sweats come in teal? Is that seam double-stitched? Do you like the way it flows?
Looking for tough athletic wear? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Bethlehem Sporting Goods, your Russell Athletic store in the Lehigh Valley.
See all you want to see. Turn on Service Electric Cable TV. We were the first to lead the way. The pioneering spirit is still with us today. Channel after channel, we bring you more. More of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
The Patriots of Freedom. There's Jeff Haberl finding David Polari in the end zone for a touchdown. And the Pates again able to prove themselves effective against this Parkland defense. Unfortunately, not as many times as Bill Ryder would like. A respectable performance by the Patriots, but Rich Snizak's Trojans come out ahead 35-18. Dan Mowdy, Mike Zambelli here with you for the post-game show.
Rich Snizak wasn't real comfortable coming into tonight's game. Mentioned about what happened to his quarterback last night.
He was concerned.
Yeah, he's real happy to come out of here with a win. And, you know, now that I see Freedom in person, I can understand why. Different Freedom team. I think Bill Ryder has some positives to pick out of tonight. His team played hard. They never hung their head. And that is something that Freedom has to start doing. Wins are going to come. Wins are going to take care of themselves. I mean, they have a brutal schedule, which we talked about. They played a good football game. But they're a team, talent-wise, that they cannot afford to make a mistake in a game. They have to play near-perfect football, and they didn't do that tonight. They had some breakdowns, and it cost them. And Parkland is a very good football team that will make you pay for your mistakes. Looking at the final numbers, first downs, Parkland 19-9. Ira Van Syrock we'll take a look at here. Had another nice night, 3 touchdowns. He has done that in every game so far this year for the Trojans, and he has done it again here tonight. They had the best of the first downs, 19-9. The rushing yards, 312 to 113. Passing, Parkland 4 for 9, 2 interceptions, 26 yards. Freedom 5 for 9, 1 interception, 24 yards. Or excuse me, 9 for 14, 2 interceptions, 86 yards. I was looking at the first half. Parkland total yards 338, Freedom 199. Freedom lost a fumble, Parkland did not. Each team punted twice. Each team was penalized 4 times for 30 yards. Individually, Van Syrock 31 carries, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Conti wound up with 12 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. On the Freedom side, Heron, 12 carries, 88 yards. Figueroa, 4 carries, 48 yards. And that is a look at the final score there and the final statistics. So we're another weekend in and another night with a lot of points. Bill, your arm's holding up. We'll see you again next week.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's contest. And again, we will be replaying this one. That'll be Tuesday night at 9:30 right here on TV2 Sports. And, of course, Monday night, if you happen to be watching this one on a Saturday, Monday night we'll have a replay of a very exciting contest that you saw here last night. Again, the final score here, 35-18 in favor of the Trojans. For Mike Zambelli, I'm Dan Mowdy. Thanks for joining us on TV2 Sports. Good night.